And the races are off. Now, Akimaro is a experienced runner. He has done runs of several different categories and have top times in, for example, No Star World, with Cape, that is. Meanwhile, Logical is a bit newer to the game. But yeah, everything can happen in this category. It is brutal, and every death will cost you a lot of time.
Yeah, and there's definitely been no shortage of deaths in this tournament so far.
Now, I did not expect us to see any deaths in the first world. The very first level is super easy, and you should never see anyone fail in it. The second level, though, starts with a bit of a tricky jump. Not the most difficult one, but if you're a bit nervous, you might fail this box jump at the start.
Yeah, especially if you have any tournament nerves. You'll see players fail that box jump, and you typically don't in runs, but in tournaments it happens an odd amount of times.
And as I said, it's probably just because of nerves. It is actually an 8-frame window to make the jump, if you set it up correctly. So it's not too difficult.
Yeah, that's a rather big window in context of SMW.
But our runners had no issues with it, and going into Yoshi's Island 4, the only thing you should keep track of in this level is what they're going to do with the shell.
No, Aki goes for it. He got it.
And he gets it.
Beautiful.
That shell jump is actually super difficult. Now, it just seems like you're turning back and forth and releasing the shell to get that jump, but it's super, super technical, and a lot more goes into it.
Yeah, there's crazy science behind a shell jump. It is not easy at all to pull off, and it doesn't save a lot of time at all. Ooh, Akimaro's making good use of those cages.
Yeah, Logical getting a little caught on the last jump on the first cage. Losing a little bit of time, but still going through it fairly quickly. And for any newcomers, LW7 is who we are going to call a Logical, because that is what we know him as.
All right, good World 1 from both of them.
Yeah. But Kirk, I know that you also love to see that time that a Logical got.
You know I do. I love giving people grief for getting a 240 in Iggy. It's not a 241. The World 1 police is here. Put your hands up.
What we are referencing is that the time Akimaro got, it's time that most runners usually get when they go fast in World 1. Well, in Iggy's castle. And a Logical, with a small mistake he had in the first room, just lost 1 in-game second.
Yeah, if you don't work those cages fast enough, you're going to lose an in-game second, and it's really easy in-game second to miss. Happens to me all the time.
Also, something that we should point out is that Logical is actually playing on the American version of the game, while Akimaro is playing on the Japanese version.
I've actually seen several runners do that. It's an odd choice.
Yeah, the American version is a little bit slower, but for this category, it's barely noticeable. It's during the cutscenes after the castles. The runners are going to lose, in total, just a few seconds. So, unless this race is super, super close, it shouldn't really matter in the end.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anyone lose a race by the amount of seconds it takes.
Neither have I.
Though I'm sure it's going to happen at some point now that I've said
it. The main point where it would lose time to be on the American version would be if they didn't switch palaces. Because
Yeah.
for whatever reason, the cutscene after that is a lot slower in the American version. But yeah, we don't do switch palaces, so not a big deal in this run.
Oh, Akimaro. Doing a good little double boost up there to get the fish.
Super clean donut ticket one by Akimaro. Logical also being doing a good one, but taking it a bit safer at the end. Akimaro is trying to keep his P speed to get the screen to scroll up, so he can see the door that he's gonna enter.
Yeah, you gotta get that speed to reach the door. Otherwise, that camera's just not gonna follow you up.
And Carrick, which level are we entering now?
Oh god. I'm ready to see a crime scene. I hope we don't, though. This DP3 is the hardest level. We've seen so many deaths already. Like, some people up to 3 or 4 deaths in their runs.
And this is the part that's difficult for Akimaro.
Akimaro's gonna take a death.
Both of the runners are going with Fireflower strats. Logical, though, is taking a bit of an easier strat. Taking a vine to get on top of the clouds. Let's see how it works out.
I'm telling you, that vine strat is it's like when the seatbelt was invented. It's gonna save so many lives if people just stuck with that vine strat during races.
And the Logical gets through. He beats the
Akimaro's
level and
taking
keeps his fire.
another death. See, if you play it safe in DP3, especially in group stages, it might just change the tide.
Now, the strat that Akimaro was and is going for will allow him to get a 62 on the in-game timer. So he would have been 10 in-game seconds faster than Illogical if he would have got it first try. Oh, and the Illogical taking a death in a really uncommon spot.
Yeah, very odd death there.
So the runners are almost tied up again. Illogical struggling a bit with the triangle to help him get over the, run on the wall.
Yeah, seeing how he's taken this level, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Akimaro catches up and passes him in this level.
So he's keeping the blue shell here because he wants to fly with Yoshi.
Look at Akimaro. He just tears through half the level, catches up, he's neck and neck with Illogical now.
It's also important to note that Akimaro has a Fire Flower, which will be important in the next level, because it will make him kill the boss faster.
Ooh, spicy. 254 as compared to Illogical's 231 on the in-game timer. So Akimaro will be ahead if everything goes right, even for both of them in the castle, because he has Fire Flower. He's going to be able to get through the boss fight insanely fast.
Logical taking damage because it delayed a little bit too much on the first swim. Now, what you do in the first room is trying to manipulate the whims and saws, and ball and chains, be in the correct position, and he just delayed a little bit too much.
Wow, they are only frames different right now. You can notice they grab this spring and bounce on the dry bones. Illogical takes a death on the dry bones, giving Akimaro a very solid lead right now.
What it felt like to me was that he was not certain what he wanted to do. If he wanted to grab the spring or if he wanted to... Okay, that was close for Akimaro.
Oh my god.
That was super close. Even though Akimaro had iframes there, he can get crushed towards the wall, and that will kill him instantly, no matter how many iframes he has left.
Those moving spikes going against the other blocks, like, they can crush you really easily. Like, they really want to crush you. Ooh, Illogical scared me, almost getting crushed in between a wall section.
Ooh, and that's a bad spot to kill the skeleton on.
Oh my god.
He was lucky with the spawn there. if
dry
you're
bones can kill you.
if you're further down on the spring, when the dry bone wakes up again, you will take damage, and that would have killed him.
Oof, my nerves are shook.
Now I'm sure that Akimaro is happy to have a Yoshi in this level this time. In the last race he did in this tournament, he did not, and he went for the small only strat, which involves bouncing on a Bossy Beetle, and it's made him lose at least 2 minutes, and in the end he went back to get a Yoshi.
Yeah, and it cost him the win too. Like I said, he got a 41.
I'm not sure what he's trying to do right now.
He was trying to get that flower with a strat he saw someone else do earlier in the tournament. You bounce the shell around back and forth, get the flower, and then get your shell back and fly back up. I knew he spit that shell and he was going for it with the Yoshi. I knew that was going to blow up.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can just spit that shell straight forward and make it in that way.
Yeah,
you don't need to put it down like he did.
I guess he was holding upright when he let the shell go, and it spawned that shell on the very top edge of the block.
But yeah, Akimaro is through there at least.
Still holding his lead pretty good.
Now, Logical also getting the mushroom that Akimaro went for. Personally, I prefer to get this mushroom that spawns right next to him, and then get that fire flower as backup, but to each their own. Now the level Akimaro is in, it's actually quite fun to play, and it looks nice here at the start, just bouncing on the Koopas.
Yeah, it's so nice whenever you can just bounce on a bunch of those Koopas. Ooh! Oh my goodness. Oh my
I thought he was dead.
Akimaro, what are you doing now?
Well, he got through the Koopas. He's out of there.
Oh.
And that bomb was super close to hitting him as well.
Both of them are just having a super scary run.
Yeah, still just one level in between the runners. Even with everything that have happened.
Yeah, and I guess now's a good time to go over the rules about no cape, no Star World. As the title implies.
Wait for a Logical to get through the Koopas as well.
Yeah, that's true. He could die. But they can't grab a cape and they can't go through Star World. If they do grab a cape, they need to immediately take a death and re-enter the level. It's very rare to come in contact with the cape, though. There's only like 2 spots or so where it's kind of dicey.
And yeah, coming up are the 2 slowest level of the rounds. First we have a water fort with no items to hold, so you can't speed up the swimming. And following this level, you will have the longest auto-scroller in the game. But Logical getting hit by Fugumanen and losing his Yoshi.
Yeah, it's not good. I hope we see... man. He can either go back for the Yoshi in Vanilla Secret 2, or try to do Butter Bridge 2 without the Yoshi. And, Butter Bridge 2 without a Yoshi is super difficult.
So yeah, we don't need Yoshi right now, but we need him for a level further on. So, losing Yoshi here is quite bad. And he goes on, so maybe he's not gonna go back for a Yoshi.
If he doesn't go back for that Yoshi, when Butter Bridge 2 comes, I'm gonna call it out. We're gonna watch him. See what happens.
And that's a super nice wrestler kill by Akimaro.
Just you wait. A-Logical right now is 2 minutes away. That's the time on his ticking time bomb right now.
And once again, if you have any newcomers to the stream, LW7 is who we call a Logical. So yeah, this is the slowest and most boring part of the run. So, Garrick, do you have anything special to talk about?
About Butterbridge 1,
Yep.
there's nothing special about Butterbridge 1. There's something holy about it. There's something otherworldly about it. Special is understating it. There's something you guys might be familiar with called the ancient astronaut theory, and that's when aliens would come down to help human beings in times of need in the past. And a big running theory is that we actually used their technology to create this level to the ultimate perfection, gathered around with all the knowledge in the universe. And that's how perfect this level is.
And that is why we also made sure to implement a potential soft lock
Yeah,
in this level.
you can't be too close to perfection, you know? It's an ancient art that you leave a little bit of imperfection in your piece of art, and that's what truly makes it original.
Now, that is not going to happen to any of these runners, since none of them have a extra power-up or reserve power-up, but something that could have happened otherwise, if they were stupid.
Beautiful. Akimaro's leaving the most perfect level ever made. But we still have Alogical in it, so we get to be blessed by its grace for a little longer.
Meanwhile, you will see Butterbridge 2 from Akimaro, which is the level that we kept Yoshi for.
Yeah, now watch Akimaro as he goes through with this Yoshi. This is the time bomb I was referring to about Alogical on the left side. Watch how easy it's going to be for Aki to get through these Super Koopas, get that blue shell, and he's going to fly over the rest of the portion. Alogical or LW7 is not going to have that ability. And as far as other runners have been concerned who don't have a Yoshi going into Butterbridge 2, we're watching a dead man walking right now.
People have, in this tournament so far, have generally gotten quite far into the level, but towards the very end, something bad have happened, and, well, they have taken a death and decided to go back to get that Yoshi.
Yeah, so if he makes it through Butterbridge 2 just fine, I mean, that is going to be a massive win for him.
Oh, and now he should go back.
Smart man. Smart man.
So that's costing him a bit more overworld movement.
Yeah, he could have gone back because he wasn't going to use it for the fortress. He could have gone back after VS3, but hey, as long as you grab it, you're saving more time than dying.
That is very true. Akimaro, meanwhile, making quick work of this castle. Now, he doesn't have a Fire Flower, so he will need to do a cycle skip in the boss fights. After getting this first hit, he will try and hit Ludwig in the air, which will skip one of the cycles of his animation, running around the floor in this protective shell.
He did take damage trying to look cool for a second.
Remember, kids, swag strat skills.
Swag is bad for your health. Alright, Alogical's to the castle. I mean, smart move getting that Yoshi. He had no problem whatsoever with Butterbridge 2, and I was waiting for that level.
You wanted to scold him?
Oh, he robbed me of being right.
Takes a death in the second room of the castle. It is the most difficult jump in that level, in my opinion. After you hit the P-switch, getting underneath the Poriboo while still keeping P-speed.
Yeah, and it kind of requires this weird little re-grab of the button to kind of maximize your distance while keeping your height low.
It takes a second death as well on the first Bony Beetle. Meanwhile, Akimaru's grabbing a Fire Flower. Now, if he doesn't grab a second Fire Flower, that one is not going to help him in any way, more than that he will be able to keep a power-up in Roy if he so chooses. but it's not gonna save him any time.
Yeah, you need 2 flowers to pull off a strat later on in the run. Having 1 flower and 1 mushroom's kind of the same as just having 1 mushroom. Ooh, dying on those cages really misread where that Koopa was gonna be. Walked right into him.
Yeah, getting butt stomped by the Koopa on the net.
And watch Akimaro's Yoshi clip here. He's getting dismount up at the top and remount right in the corner and get himself into the wall with Yoshi.
Nicely done.
It's always
Quick
nice
and
when
easy.
you see a first try.
This time Logical goes underneath the body woo without any issues. Keeps that P-speed. And having a power up for the second room, or third room, hopefully makes him go through it and be able to beat the boss.
Akimaro's doing the fireballs to the music this whole time. It's been nice.
Now, do you think that Akimaro is going to go for the wall jump in the next level?
You gotta go for it, right? It's free to go for it.
We will see. It goes for Dirty Bubble. And no wall
didn't
jump.
even go for it. I'm disappointed.
So, getting a wall jump in this game is dependent on subpixels. But the start of this level actually sets up your subpixels perfectly to get a wall jump on the pipe that he used the spring to get over. So if you do some good inputs, you can consistently get a wall jump over that pipe and save a little bit of time. And with a little bit, it's really a minor amount of time save.
Oh, very minor, but God, it looks cool. Should have seen Talvani's run, I believe it was last night. He went for every trick in the book and nailed them all. It was insane. Alright, A-Logical's making his way through Forest of Illusion 1 while Akimaro's going through Roy's Castle.
Roy's Castle is the level that made him lose his last race. I think if I remember correctly, he took 3 deaths in this level. And as you can see, it's super slow, just waiting on the snake.
Now it's time for the action.
He misses his extra power-up.
It's fine, he was able to keep his life. He's got one more section to get through. This can be real sketchy here.
And he's into the boss fight.
Dude, he scares me just standing on top of the boss like that. I've seen him lose power-ups. I've seen so many people lose power-ups or die doing that.
Meanwhile, Logical lost his Yoshi, which means that he needs to go back for it if he wants to do Yoshi clips, which he does.
You definitely want to do Yoshi clips, so he's going to have to go back to the beginning and get a Yoshi.
Now, if you know exactly how to do Forest Evolution 2 without a Yoshi, you would save time on not going back. Like, super minor amounts. But pretty much no one knows how to do this level without Yoshi. So everyone saves time on going back for it.
No one knows what the level looks like besides the first 100 feet of it.
It is basically only in small-only categories where you actually need to go through the level normally.
Akimaro's going through a really scary stage right now. So look at this platforming skill. That's a good bounce off the chuck.
But Logical missing the block that makes him swim faster. It is actually a bigger of a deal than it seems. You lose a lot of time by not grabbing that block.
Yeah, he's gonna be slow rolling until he hits the key here. Now he literally doubles his speed by grabbing an item.
Now Akimaro, before the race I saw him practicing a strat in the second room, which will allow him to keep his power up while going forward. And we will see if he's gonna go for it in this race or not. It is a bit tricky.
Yeah, blue. It's a strat we typically see from people like Louis and Fitz. It's going
No,
with the
he chooses to
standard.
go for the normal damage boost.
Yeah, that's a normal damage boost right there. Hit the first boo laser to bounce on the second.
So there is a way to get to that door without losing any power-ups. And without losing any time. But
Oof.
yeah,
Looks like
logical
a
hitting that block.
Yeah, hit a turn block and that's gonna send you right in the pit every time.
It's not only the blocks that you need to keep an eye for in this level. Hitting any of the bubbles over the gaps will also send you flying into the gap.
Yeah,
That Kuma was really scary to hit by him.
those bubbles are gathered over the pits and they will just stop you in your tracks. Right, Akimaro's in Chocolate Secret right now. This is a really terrifying level too. Lots of places to die here. Point
Akimaro
proof.
being unlucky with the bounce of the football. This level, Choco Secret, has a lot of things that you can't control in it. The shell can go through the slope. The football bounces are, if not random, they are unpredictable. And the slopes in the last room can eat your jump, so that you can't get the jump off as you want to. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong.
Looks like Alogical's gonna go ahead and ride the snake through the spike section. Real sketchy room Akimaro's in, bouncing off those spinies. He's got some chucks up here to deal with.
Yeah, and once Akimaro reaches sandbars again, here are the slopes that can eat the inputs that I talked about. And that is exactly what happens to him.
That is exactly what Blue Saint was talking about. Those
So
slopes
that
are
isn't
just,
really his fault.
they'll eat your jumps.
Yeah. I'm 99% sure that he actually pressed jump more than once there. But because of how those slopes works, sometimes your jump input just doesn't work.
I mean, he still has a very solid lead, so I'm sure he's not sweating about it. But yeah, that's why we say, like, this category is known for just how many lives it takes. Whenever you take away people's cape and just put them on the ground, this game is 1,000 times harder.
But yeah, as we said, Akimaro is still having a commanding lead over a logical. There are several levels between the runners still.
Alright.
Logical should go for his safety, or she?
Yeah, I've seen a few runners go for that, and you just kind of, you can ditch them wherever, honestly. It's kind of the nice thing. Oh, Aki's going through Wendy's Castle Small. Yeah, I was about to say, I'm wondering where he's gonna die. Right there.
So normally you would like to have a mushroom for Wendy's Castle, so that you're able to damage boost over the first lava pit. And do something called a crusher skip. But being small, you can't do that, and you need to land on the block in the middle.
Tell you what I'm worried about. Alogical's looking at 2 lives right now. While he's in the ghost house after this, he'll have lots of levels to go with not really any one-up opportunities.
Yeah, and taking a game over means that you have to go back until your last save point, which will be this ghost house for him. Meanwhile, Akimaro says super clean room 2.
Ooh. Spooky finish, but pretty good.
I was about to say, I'm a bit hesitant about where Illogical is going to bounce, but
I was just
he
about to
held
say
back.
the same. He was reaching a slope that we've seen eat people's jumps and just take them out, so I was really concerned what was going to happen. Ooh, narrowly getting out of that Chuck's way.
But yeah, Akimaro is entering the last world of the run. Starting off with yet another swimming water level. This one also a water level that you can't speed up in any way.
Yep, there's no items to grab here. Wow, really good room 1 from A-Logical.
What Akimaro is going to try and do now is to make a boo ring at the end of this room despawn, so that he doesn't need to wait for it. And with how he went underneath those ghosts, I'm expecting him to try and go for the double despawn. But looking at the boost right now, he's just gonna get the normal one.
Yeah, so if he keeps that boo cloud on screen till he just did, there should be a boo ring right where he is. But he's able to get one of them off the screen.
Logical, almost being too slow to get out of the lava. But nearly manages to survive.
Ooh, Akimaro building up some lives.
Yeah, maybe a Logical should take note of that, given the situation.
Orb.
Orb.
Alright, A-Logical's making his way through Wendy's Castle right now.
Here you saw the damage boost that Akimaro couldn't do.
Fantastic Crusher skip. I definitely feel more comfortable after seeing that.
Meanwhile, this start of Wob 1 has been super fast by Akimaro.
Yeah, this level's not very friendly, so he's doing great.
Wob 1, the level that Akimaro just beat, it's easy to go kind of fast, but it's super difficult to be optimal for the level. And Akimaro kind of was.
Yeah, anytime that you're not just holding right and Y, there's definitely a lot more skill to optimize. This one's nuts with all the bats above you and Koopas below you. You have to be really on top of it to manage your jumps. That was a great room 1.
And do you expect to see a sandbar now, Carrick?
I expect him to go for it. I don't know whether he'll get it. I really hope he does. Let's watch Akimaro's screen now as he attempts the clip. He didn't get it. He did have enough speed to slide out of it before dying, though.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure that Akimaro went for it, even though he just went underneath.
Yeah, you can tell by how much he slowed down that he at least was trying to get that jump into the clip.
And late definitely is better than missing it early. If Akimaro would have missed it a little bit earlier, he would have been crushed and gotten killed. but instead he has got the normal cycle skip and is still alive, going through this.
See if he gets the orange jump here. Nope, he has to wait for that sandbar to push him up. The height that Mario can jump is based on his speed. It's like his speed divided by 8. And Mario's speed oscillates from 47 to 49. So if you have a 47 speed when you jump, you're not going to make it up the full 6 blocks to get up to the ceiling.
Logical had the boo cloud in the perfect position to get the despawn on this boo ring. But he ended up taking damage, which slowed him down and messed up the setup. Which made it so that he needs to wait, as you can see now.
And Akimaro's going through super scary fortress right there, managing his P speed, doing a really great fortress. Doesn't matter if you take damage there, just get to the fight.
Now, being small in a Resident fight is always scary. These platforms that the Resident is on is not suitable for a small Mario. It can really warp you all over the room without any explanation.
Yeah, they're bullies, man. Ooh, Illogical put himself in a weird position, but he still grabs the orb.
So safe.
Now Akimaro's got Dark Room left before the Bowser fight. Doing a good job getting through.
If we just quickly have a small comparison against Akimaro's previous tournament run, the time that he got was a 40 minutes 30 seconds, if I remember correctly.
What,
so he is on
Akimaro's
pace to be at least a minute faster.
Yeah, his last run was a 41:32 actually.
Oh, 41.
So he's doing much better.
Even though, as you have seen, he's taken a few deaths in this run.
Yeah,
but...
and his PB is like a low 35 too, so he's a really good player typically.
And Illogical taking a game over in Bob 1. Fortunately though, he got through the ghost ship, and this is a save point just before it. So he doesn't lose any progress whatsoever.
Yeah, it's just like dying, but you get more lives at the end of it.
Well, you need to wait a little bit longer. And you need to sit through the embarrassment of seeing game over.
Jesus. Looks like he got through fine this time. Trying to grab a block there so he can have an extra. Akimaro's in his third and final phase, hitting Bowser through the clown car. He's getting ready for that sixth and final hit. So y'all get some GGs out for Akimaro. He's going to be finishing up this race with a 38:55.
Congrats to Akimaro for winning the race. A nice comeback for his first loss in the tournament. Keeping him in the run to getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, that DP3 really kept him from a great run.
And the time that Akimaro got actually beats a Logical's PB. So Logical really would have needed to get a super good time to be able to challenge this.
Whenever that happens, it's just like, what can you do about it? If someone beats your PB in a race. Looks like he's going through the sandbar portion right now.
Carrick, would you like to answer that question about the Bowser kill?
Why hitting him will shorten his phases. So imagine Bowser's fight as a series of animations, right? Like animation 1, 2, 3, 4. If Bowser gets hit during any of those animations, it's going to consider that animation stopped and then go to the next one because you kind of broke it and stuck another animation of him getting hit in there. So right when Bowser's about to start his 8 bounces, consider that's 2 separate animations. And when you hit him right at the beginning as he was starting that animation, you put the kibosh on it. It's done. And then he just does his second animation, which would be the last few bounces. Same thing with ball skip. Whenever we're hitting him to skip the ball, technically it's in the first few frames of him starting his dropping animation. So we hit him in that, he considers he dropped the ball, and then just continues moving on to the next animation, which is him moving back and forth.
I'm kind of impressed by that explanation just on top of your head. No preparation.
Yeah, I'm a genius.
Wouldn't go that far.
Oh, all right.
You're pretty good though. I'll give you that.
All right, he's made his way through the Reznor fight. He's going to be going on to Bowser to check out how many animations he can get rid of.
So yeah, you just need to go through the dark room. The short transport for getting to Bowser. So now you will see in practice what Carrick just explained.
Yep, he's going to wait till Bowser drops 2 of them. He's going to hit him with 1 and then wait for a whole new set of Mecha Koopas just so he can bring 1 into the next phases. Hold on to this one instead of hitting Bowser with it. Bowser's going to stop right about there. He's going to throw 1 Koopa and he's going to trade him for another. And now he's got the Bowser that will carry on into phase 2, which will allow him to he has the Mecha Koopa that he can carry into phase 2, which will give him another Mecha Koopa to carry into phase 3 and initiate 2 different skips. So we'll go through this one more in depth since we have him here. He's going to leave that Mecha Koopa off to the side stunned and just keep Bowser to the left because it actually shortens Bowser's animation timer when you're on the left side of the screen. So you wait there, and once he stops to drop it, that Mecha Koopa wakes up. You're onto the right side of the screen, which is where he'll drop the second. Right when he stopped, he was about to drop the second ball, but then he got hit, so he's not going to drop that ball. He went to his next animation, which was going back and forth, and then to dropping Mecha Koopas. Saves a lot of time. Now he has another Mecha Koopa for a skip in his 5th hit.
Now the skip in the 5th hit isn't as big as ball skip. Just
No.
shortens. Bowser will bounce 2 times less.
Boom, you hit him right there at the beginning, and now he's only going to bounce 5 times as opposed to 3. So here comes his 6th. Oh, goodness.
Well,
And final
it worked.
hit. Just doing a little boot scooting there. But he's gonna
And
finish up.
GG, logical.
GG's to Logical, finishing up with a 44-10. Let's put some GG's in chat for him, y'all. It's been a good job from both runners here.
And looking at the group stage now. Well, first I think we should welcome Logical. GG.
Thanks,
Hey.
guys. Appreciate it.
GG, dude.
Oh, that was so stressful.
Yep, tournament
Uh,
matches tend to be, and No Cape, No Star World tends to be. So when you put them together,
Definitely, it's a brutal category, honestly. I feel like, honestly, my late game was pretty solid by my own standards. Apart from the game over, that was a bit rough. But that Ludwig's Castle just really got to me.
oh man, yeah, I bet. That
Especially,
castle's 3 pretty hard of rooms just to get through, especially if you want to keep your flower.
definitely, yeah. I think I messed up my regrab at the start, and then just had a couple of other, silly deaths here and there. But honestly, Akimaro played amazing. He, after a shaky start, he just hit all of his strats. Only a couple things here and there that he dropped. So he definitely deserved the win. But hopefully I can play a bit better next time.
Yeah.
So
he
did you keep
definitely,
track of the
went
race?
ham.
Yeah, I actually had it open. Whether that was the right decision or not was we'll see. I'll probably keep it closed next time.
So when you
But
went back for the Yoshi for Butterbridge 2, is that because you could hear us?
no, I
Was
actually
that
didn't
the
have.
voice of God?
I didn't actually have audio. I decided to keep audio off just to keep myself focused. But I have the actual stream up.
Oh man, I was taking bets on what you're gonna do. I was terrified if you're gonna go in there without a Yoshi.
Nah, definitely not. I decided to get it after Butterbridge 1 though, because if I lost it in Butterbridge 1, I'd have to go back again, and it was just trying to cut my losses, I guess. After
Yeah, understandable.
like it's really annoying for me as well because the level with the dolphins, I can't even remember the name of the level, like VS3 I think.
Mhm.
But that's my favorite level in the game in this category. I
Well, that's weird.
honestly take pride in the fact that in runs I'm generally pretty good at getting the timing right and everything, and then I just completely messed it up there. So karma, really, but it was good. It was an enjoyable race, so pretty good for a first tournament experience for me.
Yeah, I think that's great. You got 2 more people in your group that you need to face off against, I believe. You have
Yep.
Sweet Tea and Dunkel.
Yep, I do. I'm looking forward to them actually. I've not seen Sweet Tea play at all, so I've got no idea how he's going to do. I think he's pretty good.
He is quite good, just so you know.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think he's. Did he not make a lot of ROM hacks and stuff like that?
He's been around forever. Just comes in, it seems every now and then for tournaments and just cleans up.
Yeah, so
Does really good. But hopefully he's out of practice. Maybe you can get some practice in there and put on a good fight.
definitely. I mean, I hope to do a bit better. I mean, if I can sub 40 at least in one of the races, that'd be pretty good.
No, I'm
Given
sure
this was your first tournament race, do you feel like you learned anything that you're gonna use for the next races?
Yeah, I think so. I think going into it, I was really, really nervous. I don't know why. Just like, was really
race nerves are real.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think next time though, I'm just gonna try and not make a big deal out of it to myself, and just be like, look, it's another run. You can either get everything right and just, muscle memory, just get through it, or if I focus on every little thing, things are obviously gonna go wrong. So I think trying to keep my nerve is probably the thing I learned the most. And I started to get that towards the end of the race, I think, but it was a bit too late by that point.
Yeah, it's the most important thing for tournaments is to just stay chill.
Yeah, I
That
think
helps your run so much more than knowing strats, to be honest.
Oh, definitely. I was thinking that myself. I was debating whether to learn a few faster strats for the castles, and I was just like, nah, I don't need to. And in the end, it probably paid off because I feel like learning strats the day of or the day before a race is just never gonna work well.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. And it did benefit you at certain times, like DP3, where Akimaro took 2 or 3 deaths. You took the much safer Vine strat that I definitely recommend to tons of people, and that put you ahead at that moment.
Yeah, it did, and then dropped input DP4 and just got rid of that one for me.
Yeah.
That was really annoying actually, because I saw him take a couple of deaths, and I was like, okay, I just need to play solids and keep it the strats I'm going for. And I kind of had a couple of hiccups in DP3, but it wasn't too bad. And then everything from there. The death in Morton was probably the most annoying. For me.
Yeah, that was a sketchy one with that dry bones there. We were worried again whenever you had the dry bones collapsed under the spring, because that's such a dangerous spot for that dry bones to be.
Yeah.
I was worried it was gonna happen again.
I thought about it. I was like, should I move? I was just like, I'll just leave it. I'm here now.
You're committed.
Oh, definitely. But yeah, I'll get some more practice in. I think my next race is tomorrow, so I'll get a bit more practice in, a couple more runs, just to improve my consistency a wee bit more. I only learned this category like a week or two ago, so it's pretty tough, but I'm definitely happy with the progress I've been making. And to play against a player as good as Akimaro to come even close is pretty good for me. It's good progress. But I'll be there for the run back next time to try and take my game off of him in the next tournament.
That's what I like to hear, man.
Definitely, it's all about improvement for me. I obviously at the moment I'm sitting at a 41 or whatever. It's not an incredible time, but after just learning the category, I've got a lot of room to improve. So hopefully, within the next week or so, whilst I'm doing my next couple of races, I can get out another PB at least. And I think if I can keep one of the next races close, I'll be happy. Whether I win or not, we'll see.
Oh, dude, a close race is all people want to see. That makes it exciting, right? I don't care what time people get, as long as it's close.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that when we were in World 1, and someone had said, "Oh, this is a really close race," and I was like, "Oh, that's about as close as it's gonna get for the start."
Yeah, it's World 1. Of course, it's a close race.
It's like I've run enough 11 exit from our World 1 to be consistent enough, and that was a pretty shocking World 1 by my own standards. But I was like, well, I'm getting compliments at least. I keeping it close. That's all I need.
That's all you need. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming out and throwing down this run for us and entering the tournament and whatnot.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Anything else you want to add before we go ahead and get out of here?
Not that I can think of. Just thanks to everyone for watching. It was an enjoyable race, and GG to Akimaro.
And yeah, if you want to see some more, we have more No Cape No Starboard races today. The next one is going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern. And yours truly is going to be in it. So make sure to tune in for it.
Yeah.
And then we have a few more later on in the evening as well.
Blue Saints going to be racing against Lost Core at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. So make sure to tune in right here at SpeedGaming for that. Later on at the day at 4 p.m. Pacific, or 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, we're going to have Fitz versus Kuka Speedrunner on SpeedGaming 5. And after that, at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, we're going to have Dabs versus Louie. So check that out right here on SpeedGaming. That's going to be an insane race. And then after that, we're going to have Dact versus Uncle Steve Pup on SpeedGaming. And after that, we're going to have Dots versus Canalist. And after that, is Sten versus Awu at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. So today is going to be a day full of races. So make sure to follow the schedule, follow the bracket, follow your favorite runners. And we'll see you next time for the No Cape No Star World Tournament. Y'all have a good day.
Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.